Today we have Jordon Ross Weinhold here. He plays Malcolm in The Full Monty. And we have just some interview questions for him. Are you ready, Jordan?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. So let's just get started with the casting of The Full Monty. So did you read for the part of Malcolm in The Full Monty? And if so, why did you choose this role?
Yes, I did. When the show was announced as part of the season, I had this weird feeling that I might get roped up into this show. Not necessarily Malcolm. I just kind of wanted to be a part of it in some way because I think it's a great show and I know they needed guys for it. So yeah, I did read for Malcolm. I didn't really choose it. It's just the role that I felt was most appropriate for me, for my type, and my age. So they sent me some sides. I sang a little bit, and yeah, that I just kind of left it at that. I wasn't actually expecting anything because I knew they were looking at a bunch of guys for Malcolm. And when I got the offer to play Malcolm, I was really excited. And yeah, I'm very happy to be in this show.
That's awesome. So how did you prepare to play the role of Malcolm?
The script. The script is your best friend. The script tells you everything you need to know. And then, of course, once you're in rehearsal, you start working with the cast and your director, and that kind of informs you where the show goes. I try not to do too much research. I really try to use the script. And if I get confused or if I need any guidance, that's when I'll start to do research, or you talk with the cast, talk with the director, and they'll steer you in the right direction. Yeah, we had 2 weeks of rehearsal, dance, blocking, tech, and I think we put it up pretty quickly. It was a lot of work for just under 2 weeks. So
You really did. So what would you consider to be the most challenging part of this role or this experience for you?
other than getting naked,
Well, maybe other than that.
yeah. Well, I mean, definitely choreography. It's not my forte. I'm more of a, mover. So choreography in any show is always a challenge. It still is. We've been running for how many weeks? It's still tricky. But we have a great dance captain, Andy, who helps us out and, polishes our work. Actually, the hardest thing is actually the balance and tone with playing Malcolm, because you rarely, in musical theater, you rarely get to play a character that is both dramatic and comedic. It's kind of one or the other most of the time, and just to go on that emotional journey that Malcolm has each night, it's pretty exhausting, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It always is fun to watch as well. Um, and speaking on kind of some of the more emotional aspects of Malcolm,
Uh-huh.
do you have any personal experiences that helped you connect with this character?
Uh, yeah. Well, so I am an actor with autism, specifically diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, and it's not that I usually mask that with roles. I just generally play roles where that I don't show those traits. But with Malcolm, it kind of seemed appropriate. Now, I'm not saying Malcolm has autism. I'll leave that for the audience to decide. But some of those um, traits I was able to put in, like he's socially awkward, he has hard time fitting in, he has a hard time communicating with people, he has a hard time connecting with people. And so I was able to really tap in from my own life experiences and apply it to Malcolm. So it was, we have to take our clothes off in this show and be naked, but we also have to be metaphorically naked as well. It was sometimes really challenging to show people a very real version of myself, and that I have to show each night. So that's, yeah.
Awesome. Malcolm kind of has this really nice big character arc from when he's first introduced,
Uh-huh.
really. Um, so, what do you think are the biggest attributes to Malcolm changing his attitude from the beginning of the script through when his mother passes and through to the end of the finale?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's kind of a sad guy starting out. He's a very devoted son. He has an ailing mother that he takes care of, and he loses his job, and he has no friends. He's very lonely, and when we first see Malcolm, he is not in a good place. And these two wonderful guys, Davy and Jerry, they literally rescue him. And it kind of goes from there. He develops this wonderful friendship. He's part of the club. And then, like, a nice little subplot is there's a little bit of a romance that happens as well. So we get to see Malcolm, who is really nobody and feels like he's nobody, and he blossoms into the kind of the best version of himself. Yeah.
He really does. And, this kind of blossoming romance, we're talking about Ethan here, correct?
Yes. No, Jeanette. No, yes, it is. It is.
We all
It
love
is Ethan.
Jeanette.
Yeah.
So, what's it like working with William Draper as Ethan?
Yeah. But seriously, no, he's really great. When I got cast as Malcolm, I started looking at the script, doing my preparation, and then I reached out to our director, Victor Lagaretta. I said, "Do we know who my Ethan is yet?" And he says, "William Draper, the cute guy who played Elvis last year." I said, "Well, okay, well now that's just cruel, because you mean I have to get naked with him? I mean, I look like how I look, and William is, he's an athlete, he's got a nice physique." And I was like, "Oh God." And I known Craig and Frank, Bob, worked with them before, hadn't really worked with James Burns or William. And I did know that there would be that subplot with William. And I didn't have my doubts, but you just don't know what's going to happen. And luckily, William has been great. He is a very giving actor, and he makes me feel safe on stage. Safe meaning I can be vulnerable, and I can also be a goofball with him on stage. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Awesome. You've touched on a couple times kind of the vulnerability of your character, but can we also talk a little bit about how you and your fellow actors worked through kind of some of the nudity that is in the full Monty, and also a little bit about what audience reactions have been to it?
Yeah, yeah. So you want to do the show because you fall in love with those characters, and you want to sing those wonderful songs, and you're cast in it, and the first thing that pops in your head is, "Oh no, I have to get naked." And it's like, I didn't really think about that. On the first day of rehearsal, we had a music rehearsal over at our warehouse, and then on our lunch break, um, Craig Smith, who plays Jerry, and we had a talk. And I guess we can talk about this now since enough time has passed, but we weren't exactly jumping for joy that we had to get naked on stage. He was like, "Are you getting naked on stage?" And I was like, "Yeah, are you?" And we're like, "Well, let's figure this out, because we're gonna have to." And it was scary. Make no mistake, what we're doing is really scary. But our director, Victor Lagaretta, he approached this the right way, in my opinion. He had us learn the characters, learn the show. Um, we rehearsed with each other, and we felt so comfortable with the material that when it came time to get naked, it felt appropriate. It wasn't as scary. We had a closed rehearsal where it was just the six guys and the actor who plays Kino, where we were just working with the clothes and the choreography, just um, feeling what that would be like to do that, strip naked in real time. And I was scared, and I said to Victor, I said, this is the body you had in mind for Malcolm. I need you to be there. Just so I know it's okay. And Victor was very paternal. He was very nurturing, and he has a way. Also, our choreographer Ford, they have a great way of making us feel safe and making us feel like we are the only people who can achieve this crazy task. So yeah, we did that, but our closed rehearsal was at the warehouse, which is under fluorescent light and a big mirror, and I didn't like that. But we got through it, and it was fine. And I said, well, if we can get through that, we can get through it on stage. That was actually worse than what we have. At least we have lights, and the audience is laughing and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a process. I also wanted to say, like, back to when I was asked about things I relate with my character. I still struggle with body dysmorphia. I was the kid who did not like taking his shirt off at the pool at the kid, and I still kind of don't. And so was a that's been a journey in itself. Um, so each time I have to take my shirt off on stage or drop the pants, it's not really Malcolm, it's Jordon on stage going through that. So I was like, well, if there's one thing I can contribute to the role is add that element of um, authenticity. Um, so yeah, and that it's weird. The nudity is not scary anymore, because the show is written and engineered in a way that by the time the guys strip naked, you are ready, and it's earned. So it's not scary. It's actually kind of fun, especially when the audience is going nuts, and they do. Our audiences have been pretty cool.
That's awesome. Kind of from the audience perspective, I know it's very exciting when you finally get to that like last to the finale to let it go.
Yeah, it's what
You're
they
just
paid the
so
ticket
excited.
for.
Well, that. But it's just so exciting to see all of you guys up on stage having fun. Like, are you having fun up
Yeah, well,
there?
that's part of it. I mean, Andy, who plays Kino, I think in some ways he has it harder. I mean, a lot of his character is external. It's about a lot of his role is his appearance, and he's the professional stripper. And the six of us guys, we have to dig deep down into our soul and find these vulnerable assets, and let people see that. And it's I think what helped make it easy to say yes to be one of the six guys is that I'm not up there alone. I'm up there with them, and we're just having fun, and I trust them. I can't tell you how big of a deal that is, that you can trust the people you work with up there. It really it takes all the fear out, and uh, yeah, we just basically party, party the whole time. I don't know if I should. I'll tell a story. Uh, the first Saturday, well, so we have to put layers on for the finale. We wear pants, and then it's boxers, then it's a G-string. Let's stop there. And I forgot my boxers one performance, and I realized halfway through the scene before was like, uh-oh. And so I had to re-strategize. What am I going to do? And we go to rip our pants off, and I quickly cover up because I'm just in a G-string. The audience was dying. Our cast members who are in the audience, they were dying. And I just made it a funny bit, but I was like, that can't happen again. And so I am so paranoid that I'm missing an article of clothing, you know. So, I mean, things happen. That's part of the fun, but yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of going the full Monty.
Yeah, I mean, I who knew that it would be so easy once you're finally naked. You don't have to worry about costumes anymore.
That is very true. So at one point during the show, Jerry promises audiences that the six gentlemen will go the full Monty with their strip tease. The full Monty in British slang would mean everything necessary, appropriate, or possible. So how does this script kind of encompass the whole
Well,
meaning?
yeah, so the full Monty kind of has a double meaning. It has the literal meaning of, going the full frontal, bearing it all. But it is also these guys embracing themselves and loving themselves. So it's like, yeah, anything's possible. Just it literally just let it go. Let go of the tie, let go of the pants, but also just let it go. It's kind of, we have that that kind of message in other shows, like whether it's Akuna Matata, No Worries, and The Lion King, or we have the song This Is Me from Greatest Showman. It's that kind of like, here I am, this is me, and nothing else matters. We're just going to have fun. And it's very true. And I hope people know that when they come see the show, it's not really shocking. It's not. It's fun, and it's about guys learning to love themselves and love each other.
I think that's one of the greatest messages in this show is just learning to let go and love yourself, love each other as y'all are, and perfectly that way. So, is there anything else, just kind of on a final note, that you would like audiences to know about the Full Monty?
Uh, I just want people to know. Well, you have 3 weeks left to catch this show. I really hope you come see it. And there's a lot of stuff going on in our world right now, and some of it's not so good. And if you come see this show, I mean, for 2 hours, it's gonna put a big smile on your face, and you're just gonna have a lot of fun. I hope you come see us in the Full Monty.
Yes, so don't miss the Full Monty running through June 22nd